Hello guys, welcome back to Bayliner boys. Sorry it's been a while. We've been away to Madeira and then we were away for Brighton. Madeira was fantastic by the way. I'm by no means a travel guide expert, but obviously I did the video just to show you what a hidden treasure Madeira is, and I would recommend going because there's so much you can do. Obviously we did a lot of walking, sightseeing, we chased a lot of waterfalls. It's just a stunning place to go, so I really recommend it. But unfortunately we're now back in the UK, but we're hoping to crack on with the transom. Now I want to remove the old bellows, we're going to replace the shift cable, gimbal bearing, but I need to get the rest of the transom off first, so that's what we're going to do today. So stay tuned if you want to watch how we do it. So the first thing we need to do is get yourself into the engine bay, because we need to release the shift cable from here, which is this. I've tried to give you the best camera angle as I can without, whilst it's on the stand. So first off we're going to release this nut here. So it's a 7/16 size. Just going to release this now. Important thing, make sure that your throttle lever is in the forward position. That makes sure that it's all lined up at the back end, so that when you come to release it, it'll just come out. So on this back end it should just pull out, however there's a little like hairpin clip that's in there, and I can't actually get it out because the top shift lever is in the way. So I'm going to take this off and then I should be able to pop it out, and then the rest of the linkage will slide forward. So we've got the top throttle cable off now. So this one, and I've just picked out the little pins, which are these, and that was basically holding that in, so taking them out, and as I said, that should just slide off now, and that is it. Now because we're replacing all this, I'm not bothered about you know, trying to look after it. The next bit is to release this. You basically need to unscrew this little square screw here, which is pinching it at the minute. You do have one on the other side as well. So there we go, that's that out. I don't actually need any of the bits, like I say, because I've got a brand new shift cable. I'm going to keep them just in case something goes wrong. Now the rest of this black cable housing goes down the back of the belt through the transom, and it screws in there. So at this point that's it now. So I can leave that as it is, and then we need to go to the aft of the belt and carry on there. Now this is your this is the other side of the shift cable, but essentially that is what's going to pull all of the shift cable through. If you are going to reuse this again, what you need to do is undo this metal retaining wire, and then that unscrews there, the little screw, and you need to do that to then detach this from the cable. But because I'm not using this, I've got a new cable, we're just going to pull it through. And that's that. That's all out now, and that's the other end where the two square screw heads were pinching on that. So the next bit we need to do, guys, is remove the shift cable housing here. And what you need is one of, well, you don't need one, but this is highly recommended. It's basically just like a long extender socket, and that just fits over that lug there. So, and all you do with this then is just attach another socket or a wrench or whatever. I'm just going to use the Ryobi impact gun and release it. So there we go, we've got most of it out, and if you can see, it's quite tight because it's basically spun all the inside. So I'm going to take the rest of the bell housing off now, and then we're just going to cut it when we get inside because we are replacing it. So the next thing I'm going to do is release the Jubilee clips, which you can see there, I've just got it on. So that one is for the shift cable, the Jubilee clip that's holding on the shift cable bellow. So we're just gonna see if we can release that now. See if you can see that coming off. And that has released that. Right, we're now gonna get the exhaust bellow, which is right in there. If you can see it well. You can just see screw there. Now, thankfully, Mercruiser, when they built the transoms, put a little hole in the side where you can get a screwdriver through. And all you need is a long screwdriver to get through and reach it. So we're straight through there and in. And lefty loosey. Remember when we put it back together to line that screw up so we can get in to sign it up again. There we go. We're just going to do the last bellow, and the Jubilee clip is up here. Oh. There we go, if you can see that's also loose now. There you can see that's that one. And then the one below it is the shift cable bellow. Which has come off nicely as well. There we go, so the bellows are all loose now. If you've noticed here, the trim sender and trim limiter on this side, they were off when I bought the boat. The screws have actually snapped. One snapped there, the other one's just not got one in. You can see it's all mashed up as well, so they're going to be replaced. I'm just not sure how the wiring goes through, so we'll find out when we actually get the bell housing off. So the next bit, I believe, is to take out these pivot lugs. You do need another special tool for this, which is not here. Come by. So this is what you need. I think it cost me about £6-7 off eBay, and this is the tool that you need to get into these little lugs here. And imagine it's going to be quite difficult. So I've got it attached to a crack bar. So let's see how it goes. Not as bad as I thought. Ugh. What the What? Look at that.
Oh.
Them off. Jesus.
I should jump at the can.
Fucking hell. Alright, dragon. Now there is 2 washers, or 1 washer, in between the bell housing and the transom, which is in there. So we need to make sure that when we release it, we don't lose it or damage it, so we are going to reuse it. And there we go. That's one. We'll just do the same thing for the side. Okay, that's 2 lug nuts out, so in effect this should come off. It's going to struggle because the bellows are still attached. There we go. Now the little washers I was on about. There you go, there's one. And then the other side, it's just slipped down slightly. That's there as well. Now, in theory, this should come through. There we go. And that's how it's looking. So we just need to get these bellows off. In fact, that one's not even attached on that side. That's good, isn't it? So there's one. The exhaust bellow has completely split. So we just pull that out. That's knackered. Keep the Jubilee clips because I think we're going to reuse them. So I'm just going to release that Jubilee clip on this one so we can take this bit off, and then we're going to cut this shift cable, and then we're just going to pull it through this side and then the engine bay. And all we need to do then is release the water pipe, which actually looks alright. I've got a new one to put on.
Keep that pulling. I'll put the bit up. Right, got it.
Come through?
Yeah.
Nice. There we go. So that is it. That's the shift cable out, the bellows. As I say, we're replacing this, so I just pulled it straight through. All I had to do was take off the metal bit at the end, just unscrewed them hand. So happy days. So now we're going to try and get the gimbal bearing out. Got a funny feeling it's going to be really difficult, but we'll see. Now this is the old bearing. I did consider just leaving it in and using it again. However, you can see it's got some chips all the way around it. Now that is from the metal that was being flung around from the prop shaft that was damaged, and it's like caused some deep chips, which when I've tried to fill it up with grease, the grease has started leaking through. So yeah, it's not good enough. But we've actually hit an issue now because I don't have a bearing puller. Well, I do have one. I have this one, but it's not suitable for this type of bearing or to do the job. So we're gonna have to wait now. I have ordered one. Wait for that to arrive, and then we'll go ahead and pull that bearing. Okay guys, so we've got our bearing remover now. It cost me 26 quid, I think. And in comparison to the actual, like the genuine purpose-built one to remove the bearings, which cost near on 100 quid, I'm hoping this works. And the idea is that slots through there, you then screw it up, and it kind of opens the edge like a pin, so you can see there's 3 lines on there, and that all opens up, and then it'll grip inside, and then we've just got a hammer slide, which is this thing, to then just keep sliding it out. I'll get it all set up and then see what happens. So that now is fixed inside. Just need to attach the slide hammer and then we'll get to work. There we have it. That was more trickier than I expected it to be. However, £25-ish bearing puller off eBay has done the job, rather than the £100 one that they sell. So yeah, nice one. So just show you close up. So when the metal's broke off inside and it's been flung around, it's actually caused loads of dents and chips, which some of them were actually leaking grease from. So yeah, it definitely needed to be replaced, to be honest. And all we're going to do now is do everything we've just done in reverse. So new bearing back in, and we'll go from there. So if you can get a good look in, and have a look at the engine coupler, because at one point I wasn't sure if the engine coupler had gone, but on looking inside you can see that the teeth are all pretty healthy, no major chips, nothing seems to be out of line, it all looks in line, so I'm happy with that. And the actual seal, so the seal here looks to be in good shape too, so I'm going to leave that in. So now I'm just going to clean that up and start putting it back together. Now what I'm going to do before the new one goes in, is pre-grease the bearing. So I've got my 240C Quicksilver marine grease, and you want to look for the little hole here, and I'm just going to pre-grease some of that until it doesn't go in anymore. Okay, I think that'll do. Now importantly, this hole on the bearing needs to be lined up with a hole here, because this is where, when it's in place, you then can grease it properly. There is a grease nipple there. There you go. So when it's in, you can top it up. From that point, I'm just going to grease around the insert where it's going to go, the housing, just to help it slide in a bit better, and it also will help just keep it water resistant, I suppose. If any water does get in there, it's going to help to stop it from corroding, rusting, all that kind of stuff. Okay, now the fun part of gearing it in. Now you can also get, or you can also buy a dedicated like bearing insert hammer tool thing. I don't have one of them. So what I'm going to do is line these two holes up, push it in as far as I can get it, and then I'm going to get a rubber mallet and tap it in. Wait a minute, wrong way around. So I'm just going to take it back out. These two grooves need to be on the inside. So that was lucky that I spotted that before I hammered it all the way in. So what I'm doing now, guys, because I can't get the rubber mallet in anymore, just going to use a block of wood and hit in each side until we're fully sat in. Just making sure, just like when you're tightening wheel nuts up on a car, you do it in rotation and evenly to make sure it sits back flush. And there we go, she is in. And the only reference I used was the previous line, which it was in before, which it is now. And the sound changed once I was hitting it in, which means I knew that it was sat against the back where it should be sat. And you can actually feel behind that there's it is sat there now, so happy days. So now we've got the new gimbal bearing in. I want to go ahead and re-grease it because it'll need topping up. So just going to attach the grease gun onto this grease nipple here and just fill it up until it pops off. And pull her off. And there's a little bit of excess, you just wipe that away with a cloth. And that is that, all greased up and ready to go. So the next bit I want to tackle now is where the trim limit sender cables go through, which is up here. Now there's a little bracket and a bolt holding that in, and in the middle is some little rubber grommets. Now they're off the old one. I've got some new ones with the new wires and senders. So I'm going to take that bracket off, remove the grommets, and then feed through the new wires. So let's just do that now. That's the bracket. And to get these grommets out, I'm just going to use a needle nose plier. And there we go. So here are our newer trim sender and limiters. So for the port one, what I've done is just put some red tape, because red is the colour of port. And then the other one, I just put some black tape. This is just to help it feed through the actual bulkhead, through the transom, and then I can locate them easily when they get into the engine bay. So, and the two grommets that I spoke about, there's one here, Mercury's will call them half grommets, there's one there, and then one on this one. And the idea is that they go together like that, and then create the watertight seal. So that's how they want to go through. So I've just noticed, before these go in properly, these little cable protectors need to go after the rubber stop. So it's already in the right position on the other cable. For some reason it's just not on this one. So I'm just going to unwind it and then reposition it. So that's the port side cable pushed through. I'm not going to do it all the way yet. I'm now going to put the starboard side one through, and then when they're both in, I'm going to jump in the engine bay and just tuck the wires away neatly. So now we're at this stage, it should look something like this. Got your port trim limit and your starboard trim sender. So they're now sat tidily away in the engine bay for me to connect at a later stage. We need to match up these two grommets. So they need to go back to back. So they create a little cone like that. And then what you need to do is push that through and then wedge it in. That's wedged in now. It's not going to stay there without the clip that we're going to screw back in a moment. The next bit we need to do is pull these down, and then you want to get a metal clip. Now making sure they're still lined up back to back. Push one through. I'll push them both through, and then that's going to push up, and then what you want to do is find your little nut and screw it in. Smash in, and that is tight and flush. So that's all you need to do there, guys. What we'll do now though is just bring these out of the way because we don't want them to get damaged. So I'm just going to tuck that up over there. Same with this one. Pretty sure that's on my last one that's got damaged because they'd fallen off, and then whilst turning port or starboard that got damaged because they weren't actually attached. The next bit I'm going to put in is the water feed, which goes on this elbow here. Now, because this is a brand new pipe, it's quite stiff, which is why I'm going to put this on now, because I think it'll be easy to do it now rather than when I'm trying to put the bellows and everything else on. So I don't think there's going to be an easy way of doing this. It's just going to be a case of trying my hardest until it goes on. Okay, I was right. It is on, but it wasn't easy. I did actually put a little bit of grease on the inside just to help it slide on to the plastic elbow. I'm going to be really careful because that plastic elbow is only plastic, so too much pressure either way and you might end up snapping it, and I don't have a new one, so but alright to get that on there. And now I'm just going to tighten up this Jubilee clip. I think once you get the bellows on, this would be really difficult to get behind. So that's my reasoning for doing it now. And there we go. So that's the water pipe on. So this is where we're at, guys. You might have noticed I've given the transom and the housing a bit of a paint, just to tidy it up a little bit. Bearings in, the water pipe is in, and the new trim limit and sender are also in. The next stage is to prepare the bell housing, so let's go do that now. So guys, here we've got the bell housing. You can see I've also give this a lick of paint. First thing you want to do is insert your shift cable. Now we've got a new one, because it kind of goes on together when you're reinstalling the bell housing. You want to, this is why we need to install this first. So it makes it a bit easier. Now this bit is just fiddly, so you're just going to go with it. And then just feed it through the shift cable hole, like so. You also want to do this now and tighten it up so that when you come to install it in the boat, you don't have to tighten it up after threading it through the transom, because otherwise you're going to end up twisting cable. There we go, looks like I've got the initial bit in. So I'm going to use this tool I showed you just last time. Get that sat on, and then I'm just going to slowly tighten that up. And there we go guys, that's tightened up. I'm just going to nip it slightly, just make sure it's sat in there properly. And there we go. That's your shift cable in. So guys, now you've got your shift cable, the next bit is to get your shift cable bellow on. Now, this were a ball ache to get off, so it's going to be a ball ache to get back on. What I'm going to do though is use a little bit of this green grease and just lightly grease the bit that we need to push on. You want to take your bellow, and there's no easy way of doing this, it's just a matter of forcing this bitch on.
Oh, it's on.
Ow!
It's on though. It's gotta be on.
I feel like I just pulled a fucking muscle then. That's on. Now I push that up to the end. See, that's all the way up, and then we're just gonna crimp that on. I'm just gonna use the same pliers just to squeeze it together. There we go, she's on. So we're now going to get the bellows on. I don't have any Quicksilver bellow adhesive, so we're just going to use some marine weld adhesive, which is, I'm assuming, is going to do the same thing. You're going to get your Jubilee clip on. I think what we're going to do is line it up so the screw is facing down so I can get in that way. That works, yeah, sure. And then what you want to do is, I'll just show you quickly. So inside is a little lip here that sits on or in the little groove. Now I've got half of mine missing, so it's, the question is going to be whether it holds properly. I think it will. You want to push it down into that little groove, and you'll know when it goes in because you get a little like clicking sound, a little popping sound.
There we go.
There you go, and that's where it sits. So I'm going to take it back off, put the adhesive on, and then I've got 5 minutes to get it back on pressure.
What's that other bit?
It's 2 parts, so basically it mixes. And that's, it's like the hardness.
Right.
So it's not going to look pretty, Just want to get it on. Now, if you've got one with a lid, put your lid back on.
Come on, Jay, you ain't got time for this.
And then I'm going to sit her on.
Come on. Is it on?
She's on. So you can see it's setting. So what I'm going to do now is tighten up that screw. My super duper long screwdriver.
Ooh. That's not fucking about now.
So I'm going to leave it to dry there where it is, and then once it's dry I'll just nip it up a little bit more.
Yeah.
But that's on, so happy days.
Cool.
I'm going to do the same thing now with the exhaust bellow. This goes on the boat first.
So let's go over there.
So let's go to the boat. So this one, guys, same again. The advice I can give you here is when you're putting it on, I would squeeze your Jubilee clip slightly to help fit the bottom one that it's going onto. This is like an oval rather than a circle. And then make sure you've got your screw facing upwards on the right hand side, because that's going to be the easiest place to get your flexible screwdriver in to tighten it up. And then all we're going to do is the same again. Make sure you mix it if you're going to use this type of adhesive. I know the actual bellow adhesive is just one, it's just like a glue, so you don't have to worry about that, but this you do. Put your lid back on. Push it in. And then you screw in about that position so you can get in to tighten it up. I've pushed it all the way back. Should be good. Get in with your adjustable screwdriver. And there you go, that's one on. So the reason we do this one first on the boat is because of that angle. When you've got your shift cable through there, you're going to really struggle for space. So it's easiest to get that one on first. We need to prep this before it goes on, because it's the next bit is kind of, it all goes up together, and then it's a matter of just jiggling it all to fit in. So we need to put the Jubilee clip onto the shift cable bellow, and just be mindful of where you're placing it. So, in fact, I'll spin that round. Because you want to be able to get up underneath to tighten it. That's going to sit on like so. Then we need the one on the bellow. So again, I'm just going to loosen this up. So it needs to be on the bottom facing port, because that's where the little hole is for you to get the screwdriver in. We then need a Jubilee clip on the water pipe. It's going to sit on there. What I'm going to do actually whilst we're here is just put a tiny bit of grease on the inside to help that water pipe just slip on. And then finally, you'll need a Jubilee clip on the exhaust bellow. And again, what I'm going to do is put this on with the screw on this side facing down, just so we've got room to get in. However, I don't think we'll have much of an issue getting to this one because we can obviously lift bell housing up to give us that access to get to it. This is the difficult bit, I'm not going to lie, so it's going to take two of us. So the first stage, we're going to feed the shift cable through, and then we're going to line up the top bellow for the prop, and that's going to go on first. When that's on, I'm going to tighten it up, tighten the shift cable one up, and then they're good. Then we'll look at fitting the water pipe, and then the exhaust bellow is going to be the last, because that's the one that's going to give us the most play. It's going to be the most easiest to do. First job, like I say, feed the shift cable through this hole. That's it. And then it might stop at some point. Is it stopped already?
Yeah, we're stopped.
Okay, so you take hold of this, you hold that. So what I'm going to do now is go inside the engine bay, find the shift cable coming through, and then I'm going to pull it up so to allow it to go fully into the engine bay.
Oh, I feel ya.
Can you pull it back slightly? Right, stop there. Just pull it back a bit more. Stop. Looking out.
You good?
Right, push slowly.
There we go. Oh,
Thereabouts there.
maybe a little bit more.
It's alright, there's enough room now, so I'll come back down.
Alright.
Right, just come back a little bit. Okay,
Let the dog see the vomit.
that's it. That's what we want on the surface. What we're going to do first is the top bellow. Okay guys, so we're now going to put the adhesive on. Adhesive is going on the top bellow first. Okay, right. Okay, now push it up. Push it up, push it up, push it up, and you're trying to line it up now inside, if you can see. Now, all you need to do is push on the inside until you feel it sat. Now, if you have proper bellow adhesive, you don't have to be as frantic as I am, because you've got time. You've got 10 minutes, whereas this, you don't. You've got 5. Looks like we are sat on. So guys, the top bellow is on. You can see the paste around the outside. That's sat in snug. It was quite awkward to get to the screw for the Jubilee clip, which is why I paused the video until I could get it, because it was very awkward. And the shift cable one is on. And you can see it there. So now it's just the water pipe and the exhaust bellow. So that's the exhaust bellow, that's obviously not lined up at the minute. And we're going to do the water pipe first, I think, and then get the exhaust bellow on. Okay guys, now we have got our water pipe on just above the screwdriver, if you can see it there. Jubilee clip is there, which has been tightened up. And finally we just need to get the exhaust bellow on. I'm not going to film it because it's too difficult to try and do it and film at the same time, but when I get it on, I'll show you. And that's it guys, that's the exhaust bellow on as well. You can just see inside the sealant closest to us. And I actually use the tie wrap trick, so you can see one there and one on that side, and then there's one tie wrap that's around the exhaust bellow, and I just used them to pull it onto where it's seating on the bell housing. So that's how I've done that single-handedly. It was tough work, but it's on. And that is bell housing, bellows, shift cable and gimbal bearing and trim limit and sender all replaced. Unfortunately I've run out of daylight now, so I will have to continue this tomorrow. Stay tuned. Well guys, to those of you that have stayed tuned, thank you very much, and I hope you've enjoyed it so far. However, I do have some bad news. So this is part 3 of restoring the outdrive. The next video I filmed was part 4, and that was me installing the outdrive back onto the boat. However, disaster. I don't understand how that happened, but it snapped, and all of the footage from me filming putting the outdrive back on the boat was on there, and now it's lost. I can't retrieve the footage off that, so yeah, unfortunately, it's just gone. And I'm not going to take the outdrive back off to film it to put it back on, because that'd just be silly. So I am sorry about that, can't change it, but you might have seen in my last short video the outdrive running, and I built the little bucket with water so you could see it. So I'm really happy actually, it's all working spot on. So yeah, I also want to apologise for some of the quality of the video in this one. The focus was out quite a lot. That was because I was using my GoPro, and the GoPros are generally made for filming wide angle stuff. So close up, it couldn't really handle it. So I've got a new camera now, so I'll be using that for the next videos. So the quality should be a bit better. But if you did like it, please give us a like, subscribe. And also, I want to get your view actually. Do you want to see more shorts so it's easy to watch, or do you enjoy these long episodes? Just let me know in the comments and I'll try and tailor it to what you guys want to see. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.